Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Something really weird going on, so just bear with me as I work through this, as I kind of read through this, because this is the energy that's most present as I come on here. So, I turned on my camera. I'm going to do a daily tarot. This is the daily reading. I came on here, I turned on my camera, and I look different. There's something, I look different than, I have a mirror right here. I look different than I did in the mirror. And the mirror in the bathroom. So I go into the bathroom and I'm looking, I'm like, what is it? What is it that I'm seeing differently? Like, why does it, I feel uncomfortable on here. I feel like I don't look the way that I see me in the mirror. And it's weird because it doesn't always happen this way. So I know that it's connected. There's something going on energetically right now. So I was like, what is it? 111 on my recording. So I stood over here, and then I stood over here, and I stood over here. I'm like, what is it? And I look over here, and it's interesting because I like what I see in the mirror over here. And then I come over here, and I'm like, oh, God, there's just something off, or I don't know, it's my makeup, or obviously it's my hair is different, but my hair is the same in there. So I look in there, and I just like pushed my hair back or something like that. And when I did that, I stepped over here, and I realized that 144 on my recording, this has a lot to do with like mirror energies, obviously, and we talk a lot about the mirror image, the mirror energy when we're talking about twin flame and blah, 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 or your counterpart, whatever you want to call it. Twin flame keeps coming back up again. Just the term twin flame keeps coming back up again. So I realized that in the mirror over here, when I touch this side of my face on in the mirror, that's the side that is, you know, that's the side that actually my hand is on. But on here, when I touch this side of my face, my hand is actually on that side of the screen. So it's like flipped. It's not a mirror image. It's like a flipped image. You know, mirror is like this side to this side. On here, it's flipped. So, you know how sometimes someone will hold up a card and it'll be backwards? There's something that's backwards. There's something that's backwards. And now I've got this like pain in my solar plexus. Just all of a sudden this pain came on in my solar plexus. So that's what we're starting with right now. It's not clear to me just yet what the issue is. There is an issue. There is something that's present in the energy, in this field, in your field, in my field, that is most present for me to see. But I'm not seeing how it connects and what the message is just yet. So let's dig into that a little bit, okay? It's like I'm right on the edge of it. There's something that I see on here. There's something that you guys see about me that I don't like. There's something that, or a way that you guys see me that I don't like. So just like breaking down the parts of it. When I look at myself in my mirror, when I'm by myself, there are things that I see myself in a certain way, and I like that. And then other people start looking at me, and it's flipped. You're looking at me through your lens. And there's something about Karen, you know, I'm connecting with, you know, higher knowledge and higher energy to try to make sense of Karen's experience here. So I'm going to like separate myself from that just a little bit, because it's not me, the higher consciousness me, that wants to speak and help make sense of it for Karen. So it's like there's something that you guys are seeing me through your own lens, obviously. And I see the world, Karen sees the world through her lens. But when I come on here, I want to see through the lens of Source, the way Source sees it. So, okay, I get that. So sometimes, it's like I just got a little bit of a download about it, or Karen did. Sometimes when you see me on here, you're seeing Karen. But when I tune into the energy of this higher source, of my higher self, of your higher self, of the oneness that we all are, the place that we all meet, this collective energy, I'm witnessing our human experience outside of myself. So you're looking at me as Karen. This is Karen. And I just heard judging, like judging me from a human perspective. You're judging the human. And judging doesn't always have to be bad. You know, sometimes you're not just judging, but interpreting or translating, or you're looking at me as the human Karen. And I'm coming on here with the intention of being the messenger, just speaking through Karen's voice, speaking through my vessel, bringing the message through my vessel. Now, I am bringing it through my human filter. I'm bringing it through Karen's filter. But Karen has gone through a lot of things and went through this thing with the mirror and this camera in order to translate a message. Because you have to go through things as a human. We have an experiential life, and we learn things through experience by doing. It's a very masculine trait. We learn by doing. Not all of us, most of us. We learn by doing. And so it's like I have to go through the experience. Karen has to go through the experience to be the message, not just to translate the energy of the message, but to go through it, to see how things connect, and then to tell you the story of that. It's like, I gotta tell you Karen's story. So I'm like, what's the reason that I needed to tell them that? I mean, there's a lot of times where obviously you are doing the same thing. Your higher self wants to tell you something about you, that the way you see yourself and the way others see you obviously doesn't always match up. So now, I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to give you like what's going on in my head. So when I feel the flow of, when Karen feels the flow of that information coming through, it just flows. It just comes out. It just, not only does it make sense in my mind, that's why sometimes I'm like, oh, okay. Like I release this resistance in my mind where I'm trying to figure it, and it just, I see it and it flows and it makes sense. I'm using all of my senses. When the flow of that, or the connection, or the message of that stops flowing, or maybe I'm not connected to it, or I'm not sure. When that stops flowing, I then am back in Karen's body again, and in Karen's mind, and I'm thinking, okay, what else is there? What else is there? And I'm trying to put the pieces together of like maybe the answer. I'm trying to get into the energy of the answer. When Spirit is saying, it's almost like sometimes they pose the question. Sometimes Spirit or Source is posing the question to you, not always giving you the answer. They're giving you the questions in order to ponder it and to sit in and what? So it's this interesting back and forth and back and forth. So then I come back into Karen's body right now. And in my mind, I'm asking, how else does that flow? Because you're watching. Because you're watching, and it feels uncomfortable for me to just sit here and have you watch me until I connect back in with it. So I'm like trying to connect back in with it. Sometimes there's this ebb in the flow of information as it comes through. And so when I feel that ebb, I come back into Karen's body again, and Karen is asking questions and wanting to put more pieces together. It's like, okay, that was part of the information. That was part of it. What do I do now? What's next? It's this interesting back and forth for me as the messenger. This is a very interesting presentation. It's not even really a reading. It's a presentation of knowledge. Of some of you are wanting to learn how to be the messenger. Some of you are the message. Some of you are receiving messages. I've got the Two of Wands here, 1122 on my recording. Okay, so there are many different aspects to the way that I connect. My senses are all connected to each other, and I need to use all of them in order to continue the flow of the message. It's not just, so right now I'm using my clairvoyance and claircognizance, where it's this knowing, this clear knowing. And I open up and I see so much. I'm very, very visual, very clairvoyant, where I see scenes. I see scenes from my life, from Karen's life, as the message comes through, and I use that as part of the information, as part of the message. And as you can see, most of the time I look up, because that's where I'm really tuning into my inner sight, and I'm focusing on what it is that I'm seeing. Sometimes it comes in things that I'm hearing. I love the way that they're putting this together right now. So when I'm like this, and I'm only using my clairvoyance, at some point, there are messages in other aspects of my senses that I then need to use. So it's not just my inner eye, it's my outer eye that I need to tune into, because there's more message, there's more clues there. I'm trying to use more of this because that's my most dominant trait, but there's other clues that are being given through clairaudience, through clairsentience, through all the psychic senses that I'm not utilizing in order to give a full, more, I just heard robust. So I just heard robust, 1331 on my recording. Reading of the energy. So when I read, if you think of it in human terms, you read with your eyes, but you're also computing, and you're just reading words. When you read energy, it is reading through not just your eyes, not just your inner eye, but through all of your senses. So we're taught to read with our eyes and with our brain, read, books or words or whatever. And your psychic senses, the energy that you're reading, you're meant to read through all of your senses. So for me, and we talked about the other day, where's the music? Where did the music go? And it's so interesting because I just looked in the camera and I look different to myself right now. I look different. I don't look like Karen anymore. I look like the light being that comes on here to talk to you guys. It's like I'm here to teach you about your psychic senses and the way that the information is put together. So if I don't have my music on, They're piecing it all together for me right now. You're not getting the full picture. That's what the discrepancy was here. Like when you guys look at me, you're not getting the full picture. You're not looking at me through all of the senses. It's just this one and clairaudience, like you can hear it. So all over my desk, I've got all of these little tiny these little Post-it notes from sessions that I've had, and just notes and clues, and sometimes I'll get some information, I'll get a download, and I'll write something down, and blah, blah, blah. So there is the inner eye and words and the energy of words, or the energy that I was in when I wrote down these words. In these words, it's in them. It's imprinted in them. And sometimes it's meant for later. So I've got it sitting here. And if I don't use that to add towards the message, I'm trying too hard to get it all from this source over here. That's the problem with school. That's the problem with school, is that they want you to use your brain too much. They want you to use your brain, just your brain, and not your senses, and not your intuition, and not just school, but institutions and work. And they want you to think. It's caused this like epidemic of overthinking and overbraining everything, and not using your senses and in your gut and the things that you. Technology has taken the human technology out of our everyday way of functioning, and it's causing so much overwhelm and pain and hurt and depression and anxiety and fear. So, I'm smelling my coffee right now. I'm smelling my coffee. So there's another one of the senses that's coming in. We're overstimulated. So I'm thinking of like the stimulant in coffee, the caffeine, the stimulant in coffee. So people their brains are totally overworked. Their bodies are tired because their brains are overtired. And then they're feeding themselves with coffee and a stimulant in order to get their brain to move faster, to work faster, to keep up with all of the, like thinking and word and computerized and technology, site that they have to use. And it's like slowly breaking down your human technology. So, all this to say, if I don't use all of my senses, like feeling, like that feeling came in my stomach too, in my solar plexus. It was a physical sensation, so clairsentience. If I don't tell you that part of it and have it be received as just as important to the message, the totality of the message is broken down, or it's harder to get to. It's harder to get to. So I need to have words in front of me. That's why I need to have cards, because they also have pictures on them. And I'm very clairvoyant, but if I don't use something physical that I can look at, I'm using too much of my inner eye and going too much into that space. If I'm not using my music, what's the other one? Clairalience, clairgustance. So smell and taste. Taste is not necessarily one that we use very much. And now I'm just hearing it was like silent, and then I heard my heater come on. My the air from the vent just blew through. So air. But also hearing that clear. So it's like it's all being pieced together right now. Huh. You have gifts. Okay, so I'm sitting here thinking, it's like, what's going on in your brain? Somebody just asked me that yesterday. Like, you have to explain how you got from that to that, because that was a really big jump, and I'm really confused about like why you said this, because we were just talking about this, and like how did we get to this? And I've got 12 steps in the meantime that I'm just like automatically piecing together in my brain, and then I just say it. So it seems kind of scattered and ADD brain, but going from this to this. How did you get from Karen's experience and everything that you're experiencing right now, and boom, 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 and I'm just like, bing, light bulb, and you guys are just like, this chick's a fucking whirlwind. What is she even talking about? You have a lot of gifts. You have psychic senses. Everyone has the ability to tune into energies around them through their human extra senses. Your senses can be heightened in order to ease the workload of your brain and your emotions. And what I'm hearing is your immune system is being broken down because your brain is working too damn hard. You're also trying to create something in your life. You're trying to manifest something in your life, but your brain is on overload because it's programmed to be doing all the work. So you think, but you don't feel. All your senses. Like you have a job that requires so much thinking and so much technology. If you work from home, and you're on the computer all the time, if you're on your email all the time, and it's all words. All it is this aspect, these words that are sitting here, but it's not enough pictures. It's not enough sound. It's not enough feeling. It's not enough physical sensations. It's not enough physical interaction where the chemistry between this human body and this human body also gives you clues. You're overloaded in one area and you're not using enough of your intuition, your intuitive senses to help you get through the day, to interpret the day, to translate the day. You're using too much of your brain. And there are things that you're asking for. There are messages that not only are waiting to be received by you, but that you are waiting to send out. It's like you're sending out this call. You're sending out a call. You're calling to something, to someone. But you can't hear the answer. So Spirit is like, why is that? And it's exciting for me because the last 2 weeks, you're like, why are you smiling? The last 2 weeks they've been talking about, the question coming in from you guys and me being in the energy of the answer. Tuning into Spirit, tuning into Source and listening for the answer. And it's funny because they're turning it around right now and just being like, well, let me ask you a question. Why is it so hard for you to hear the answer? And one of the other readings was like, listen up. There's something that you're not listening to. And there's a reason that, not that you're not listening to the answer or to Spirit or to the energies around you. You're not listening to the energies around you because you're not getting the full picture. It's not that you're not listening. You're not hearing in a way that you're able to hear. For some of you, you're not communicating with other people in the way that they're able to hear. Sometimes they receive information in a different way than what you're used to communicating it. And you receive information differently than what other people are. There's a lot of communication issues going on right now. lot lost in translation because you're not being communicated to, or you don't understand how now my nose is itching. So that's another physical sensation. Somebody's nose is itching. So when your nose itches, what does that mean? It means something. There's like this saying that if your nose itches, somebody's talking about you, or that's your ear. That's when your ear itches. When your nose itches, you're going to get money. When your nose itches, you're going to get money. Or is that when your hand itches? What is it when your nose itches? Somebody tell me. Somebody tell me in the comments. It's something. And it came on all of a sudden. And I know that it's connected because I'm talking about senses and physical receptiveness is just what I heard. So you knowing you and getting into tune with you, tuning your dial, I just started tuning your frequency, is really important moving forward. You have to learn the way that you receive. So I'm just also seeing and hearing the love languages, the 5 love languages. So when you receive, if you're asking for love, if you're sending out the desire for love, you have to get in tune with how you receive love and how other people receive love. There's sometimes where you communicate, you show your love, you give love, but that's not the way that they receive love. That's not how their senses work. You know, I'm dominantly clairvoyant, but I'm also very clairsentient, and that is connected to emotions and feelings and stuff like that too. So, and physical sensations, so physical touch. Very clairvoyant too, so like I have to see you to receive all of the information that I need to connect in with that feeling or love or whatever it is. So as humans, we have to understand the other human technology. We have to understand this person's human technology and this person's human technology and how it may be different for yours. They receive sometimes in a different way than you give love, or in the way that you're used to giving of yourself. So sometimes other people give, words to you, words of affirmation in order to tell you how they feel about you or something. But the way that you receive love is through time, through physical presence, through quality time. And so they can say all the words that they want to and think, how could she be confused about the way I feel about her or something like that? Or because you receive it through time. This is about opening up your other senses too and learning to receive in new ways. Learning to receive in all the ways and looking at the way that that information comes through in other ways too, but also learning how to balance all of them. And when there's not enough of this one or whatever, then seeking a balanced energy through quality time or something like that. Okay? That's the gist. It was just like the message. That was the message. That was the heart of the message. And now, me as a human, I'm sitting here thinking, that was very, very, very all over the place. Did that even make any fucking sense at all? And I just have to trust that it will land where it needs to land. It's going to resonate with you in certain ways and not in other ways. Take what you resonate with. And don't overthink the things that didn't make it through into all of your other senses or whatever. just take what does resonate and know that the rest is meant for other people, or that it will eventually make sense to you. There's sometimes that this doesn't resonate with me at all right now, but that later on something clicks into place because it was planted there for you for later. And you're like, oh, that's what I remember Karen saying something about that. Let me go back and watch that again, because now it's put into play because of the experiences that you've been through in the meantime. So you go back to it and you're like, oh, okay, let me fill in that gap right there with that one and that one and that one. There's 2 songs that I want to give you right now, and I don't have them on, but I can hear them in my head right now because I just read them and I heard them. So I want you to look up the lyrics for it and listen to the song, because there is part of the message missing from this for you, because I don't have my music on, but I do have my music on in my head. And so I'm going to have you turn the music on and you receive whatever part of the message you need from this, okay? So We Belong by Pat Benatar. And for me, I usually need to turn the music on and look at the lyrics. It's the physical words that help give me more messages too. And Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now by Starship. So look those 2 up, listen to them, read the lyrics, and it's going to fill in some of the gaps for you, okay? So it's like, what was this reading even about? It's about whatever it is that you're trying to manifest. So it's going to be different for everyone. It's going to be the same for a lot of people. It's going to be about work. It's going to be about money. It's going to be about love. It's going to be about your kids. It's going to be about your family. It's going to be about travel. It's going to be about abundance in general, but in many different areas of your life, whatever it is that you're asking for. For some of you, you've been asking for all of these things, and your vortex is filled with all of these really beautiful, beautiful things. And you're asking for them and you're calling for them. And this whole message has clues in it for how to receive those things. The universe is trying to bring them to you. And it seems just out of reach. It's just out of reach. It's like this is the teaching for how to learn how to receive them. So there's going to be more to this. There's going to be more teaching towards this. I can tell. Oh, that's funny. And I've even got my teacher on duty coffee mug here that they just pointed out to me. So there's going to be more teachings here about how to tune into and be in the energy of the answer and in the energy of the things that you're seeking. Not just thinking that they're out of reach, that they are here right now. How do I access the energy of those and really feel that it's present? How can I feel that money is present if the reality of it is like, but I look at my bank account and there's nothing there, right? So more to come, to be continued. This is always to be continued. There's always something else. But if you have more questions about that, or if you want to dive more into that, hearing a mentorship group, I'm getting ready to meet with my mentorship group right now. As a group, we have a couple of group sessions, which are super, super powerful. And so if you're interested in that, or if that interests you, all of my information is down in the box below. I don't have the mentorship package, the mentorship group on my website. You have to email me about that so we can talk about it and figure out where it is that you want to go and the different offerings. Okay? But it's this honing these skills, honing these gifts, honing your intuition, work towards that is a part of that. Okay? So if you're interested in that, my information is down in the box below. If you're interested in just me reading you, just doing a reading for you, all that's down there too, okay? All right. I love you guys.